Okay. Hello. I don't know how appropriate it is to be like doing what I'm doing on here, but I thought I'd make a video. And I haven't made a video like this in a while. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna say in depth, but I was recently triggered, and I was triggered in a like positive way, and I wanted to talk about it. Now, when I say it was a positive way, I should also say that it's a pretty big belief, pretty wide belief that I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I feel silly. Um, it's a pretty widely known belief that triggers are an opportunity to like learn about yourself and to understand yourself more. And so anytime you feel triggered, anytime you feel like upset or like really angry, it's an opportunity for you to like self-reflect and learn about yourself, right? And this was one of those moments, and it like got me thinking. I was gonna make like a specific video, like a subject video, like I was gonna talk about love and like also there's hearts in the back. That's cute. He actually, I really do like the. I can't think of words. I'm multitasking. Like you can't see what I'm doing off camera, but I like the paintings in the wall. Like it's nice. Um, excuse me. But I digress. I also felt like I should like record a video because it's journaling in a sense, and I didn't really feel like typing out my feelings or like writing out my feelings. So I was like, let me just make a video and then like also kill two birds with one stone and like make a video that I could post on the internet. So, obviously, I don't know you personally. I don't know the details of your life. I don't know everything that you go through, etc., etc. But what I do know, once again, like I just said, that universally, we could all look at being triggered as an opportunity to learn and to grow. And I think unfortunately a lot of people don't really look at it this way. They get triggered and they like kind of see it like as something to stay away from, which sometimes that is valid. Sometimes it's a sign that you need to stay away from something. But others, it's for the most part, honestly, it's an opportunity to look within. And I recently put my journal entry because like 2022, 2022, 2023, and then 2024, I have done this thing where I have a document where I just like log my thoughts, and it's been really helpful. And one thing I recently did, and I would recommend this to anybody and everybody, I've been using ChatGPT. And big shout out to ChatGPT. I love that fucking thing. And I will put different pieces, different writings into it, and like ask for its input or ask for different interpretations of it. And I did this with my journal. And it basically was like, well, long story short, it was basically like you have a strong sense of your inner world and etc. etc. And I said all that, explained all that. That was kind of like unnecessary exposition, but also I wanted to mention ChatGPT because I love it. Like as a creative, I love AI. But I said all that to say that it told me that I have a strong sense of my inner world. I have a strong inner world, and I feel like a lot of people, most people don't really have a good sense of like their inner world. Like most people don't really cultivate, and it's like no one's fault really, but the system. The people at the top, the powers that be. Most people don't really have a sense of their inner self. Like, mental health is another way we could label that. Like, mental health is very important. Like, the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you, like, look at a situation is very make or break, Like, for example, also, I forgot the dog was in here. Like, almost startled me a bit. For example, let's say you are looking for a job as a banker, right? And you're looking for a job, and you keep applying to places, you keep interviewing, you're not getting the job. And maybe you think of this as failure, as it's like, okay, why can't I get the job? I suck, right? Or you could just look at it as like you haven't found the right place yet, divine timing. But that's just another way to look at it. And like, perspective is one of those things that you can't really like, how do I say this? Like, you can't really force upon it, force people upon it. Like, you can't force someone to see the world a certain way. They have to choose that outlook, you know? Like, if someone chooses to see the world as like an unsafe place, then that's what it's going to be for them. And then that's when we go into the law of assumption and like law of attraction and stuff. Like, what you assume to be will most often become, you know? Like, if you assume that you're the most attractive person in the world, you're probably going to get results that like look like that. But obviously there's a nuance in there, and there's like the negative consequences of that desire, of that affirmation. I'm going to drink some water real quick. Also, it's the first of the month, and I hadn't said that in this video. I've been really hype for the first of the month. It's a new month, new beginnings, new things. And I mean, you already know what I'm doing, so I don't know why I would be hiding it, right? Hopefully this isn't like flagged or anything. I don't really have that big of a following yet, so if you've been following me for any amount of time, you might understand that I like have a very complicated way of looking at the world. Like, I feel like I often entertain like opposing and conflicting perspectives. Like I said, the world can be very unsafe, the world can be very chaotic, but I also understand that it is very heavily dependent on your own beliefs. Like, if you're made to feel like, as a child, that the world is unsafe, you're most likely going to have an outlook growing up that the world is unsafe. And we could like soft blame the parents, we could soft blame the caretakers or the caregivers. Not that any blame is necessary, because blame is like a useless pursuit. Anyways, I imagine some people just watch these videos to listen to my voice, and I appreciate that, I guess, but like, I hope that these genuinely help somebody, or like, whatever. Doggy, what? Anyways, how are you though? Obviously, I can't see you. Obviously, I don't know. Like, unless you comment, I don't know what your response is, but how are you? How are you feeling mentally, emotionally, physically? Like, what's up? Spiritually? Like, what's going on? Because I know, for me personally, I've been dealing with a lot of like heavy emotions, a lot of really intense emotions, and it's interesting because, I mean, I won't get into too much detail, but like personal desires and wants and stuff. And I was talking to someone recently. I was saying, like, anything that you have, anything that you want to do in life, like whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to be a teacher, whether you want to be a singer, like whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, there's always going to be some sort of resistance. There's always going to be something that arises that like really tests your grit. And I was saying this because, well, I was just kind of saying it. Was just like, you know, life is like that. And now I'm here telling you and reminding you that, like, whatever it is that you're pushing for, whatever it is that you're striving for, there's going to be resistance. Like, and that shouldn't discourage you. That shouldn't be like an obstacle necessary. It should just be a detour. And we could talk about pivoting. We could talk about like the art of pivoting. Some of you might be pivoting. This is kind of turning into a channel sort of thing. Like, originally I just wanted to like get my thoughts out, but then I put on my service hat and I was like, let me say some words that might be helpful to someone. Life is crazy though. Like, life is beautiful. My Libra ascendant has to say that life is beautiful, life is amazing, life is wonderful. But life can also be fucked up. Like, there's a lot of people in the world who are suffering immensely. Like, looking at the news, like, there's like so much shit going on, and like some of it is like kind of created by the people in charge, and that's crazy. And it's like, I feel like it's really easy to get upset about anything these days, like first world problems, you know. But I think an important message for somebody out there is like, remember that, how do I say this? Your fellow person, your fellow man is not the enemy. What's that Bible quote? We fight not against flesh and blood, but spirits or something like that, like demons and energies and entities. Excuse me. And I'm not a Bible person. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not gonna claim to be. But there are certain parts of the Bible that definitely hold some truth. Like the idea that like the tongue holds so much power. Like life and death are in the power of the tongue. Like the things that you say, the things that you think, even like hold weight. You know. And in the same right, once again, we fight not against flesh and blood, but things that are unseen. And so whenever someone is like coming at you or like trying to make you feel a certain way, I feel like it is necessary to remember and to remind yourself that it's not necessarily them as a person. Sometimes it is. Sometimes people are so warped and whatnot by the spirit that it is them. But more often than not, it's not them as a person. It's the spirit, you know. And I'm not going to claim to be a spirit expert. I've done a lot of reading. I've done a lot of research on, you know, the spirit realm and the unseen. Excuse me, my throat has been like, it's my own fault. I'm not complaining, but, and have patience. Like, be humble and have patience is like the message, because it's not them. You know. So I don't know, I'm gonna like end this here, and I'm gonna thank you for your time. I hope this was helpful, hope this was useful, hope you got something out of this, and check out the links in the description.